In the last year, it looks as he hasn't made any progress whatsoever. Coach Greg, in today's video, Sam Sulek's posted a before and after transformation of the entire year. He likes to bulk and cut. He's perhaps competing at the Arnold Classic this year.
Oh shit, here we go again.
What kind of gains has he experienced in an entire year? Remember, he's only 23 years of age, and so most certainly we're going to see a shocking before and after transformation, right? Wrong. It states difference between 1 year. And so we can clearly see the difference in the year photo because Sam Sulek in the last year has cut off all his hair. He's no longer Samson. I'm not talking about Samson Doda, Samson from the Bible. And perhaps he lost all his powers once he cut off his hair. And so if I didn't know any better and I said difference in 1 year, I would assume that on the top with the short hair was the before and the after with the long curly hair, that was the after. My personal opinion is he does in fact look bigger, fuller, more vascular in the photo on the bottom than he does on the top. The only thing, it's the exact opposite. In the last year, it looks as he hasn't made any progress whatsoever. And so many of you are thinking,
oh, it has to be the steroids, the performance-enhancing drugs.
If you're on steroids, your gains are inevitable. And if you blast enough gear while drinking enough chocolate milk, you know, being in a calorie surplus, everything is going to turn to muscle. I mean, after all, Alex Eubank is only on 200 milligrams of testosterone. He's up over 20 pounds in 8 weeks. And so if you add a zero to that, let's call it 2,000 milligrams a week, you're going to be huge and the gains will last forever. Well, I do believe that Sam Sulek began using performance-enhancing drugs when he was a teenager. And the first several years, absolutely, probably put on over 50 pounds. But sooner or later, that progress, it comes to a standstill. You can't keep getting bigger and bigger year after year. Eventually, it gets harder. If bulking and cutting were so much better than main gaining, why is it that he doesn't look any bigger? I mean, you can debate me, you can argue with me, but is a picture not worth 1,000 words? And so let's read some of the comments. How does nobody see that he's clearly downsized? The bottom is last year. That's the #1 comment. I do believe that everyone sees that. He's saying,
how does nobody see this?
This is immediately what people are thinking. The bottom is from a bulk, the top is from a cut. All right, let's assume that that's true. Well, on the bottom, he looks bigger because he's on a bulk. The top, he looks smaller because he's on a cut. When you bulk, do you not look fatter? Do you not have more body fat? And when you're cutting, you look leaner? Should he not look significantly leaner on the top? More abs, striations, definition, vascularity, while on a cut than when you're on a bulk. And so if there's no difference between the bulk and the cut in terms of body fat or body composition, that's called main gaining. If you look the same before as after, you haven't gone on a bulk, you haven't gone on a cut, you've main gained. When you main gain, you keep your body fat at a level that's healthy for you and you slowly put on muscle throughout the year. And so Sam Sulek could have done this exact same transition, if not better, without bulking, without cutting. When you go on a bulk, yes, it helps you to put on a little bit more muscle. The problem is when you go on a cut, in particular, if you do it very quickly, you're going to then lose that muscle. And so in the end, the bulk and cut, it's not worth it. Bulking and cutting has been vaulted. It's not necessary, it's outdated, but yet people still do it. If Sam Sulek had maintained 12% body fat throughout the year without bulking and cutting, perhaps he starts out at 245 pounds. And by the end of the year, perhaps he's 255 pounds. It's 10 pounds of muscle added in the year. If he starts at 245, bulks to 300, then cuts back down to 255 after that, it's the net same difference. The end result, they're both 255 pounds. And so whether you bulk and cut or main gain, to me, it makes no difference. The problem is some people try to main gain while being too lean. If you're at 5 or 6% body fat, single digits and so on, it's too hard to put on muscle. And so you eat until you become healthy so that you can then put on muscle from there. And another point, I was talking to Scientific Snitch. She stated that studies have shown that when you go on a bulk, fat cells can in fact divide, making it more difficult to stay lean following each bulk.
Your fat cells are dividing. That's not going to be a huge deal for you in the short term, but in the long term, when those fat cells hypertrophy, that's when they're going to start sending those I want to say metabolic dysregulation signals, which are not conducive of being able to diet down.
And so imagine you go through 20 bulks in your lifetime. That's 20 times where your fat cells have had a chance to split, to multiply, making it that much more difficult for you to stay lean. And so who would want that? The yo-yo dieting, up and down, various studies showing it's harder to stay lean. And so if you want to look lean year-round, it's better to be healthy all the time. Underwhelming amount of progress. Which one is the before? And so it's very obvious. The one with he has the long hair. He's cut his hair and made a video talking about it. And so you can see the people who are asking this genuine question, perhaps they don't know who Sam Sulek is, and they genuinely don't know which one is the before. There's not much difference. Is it just me, or does he look smaller? The cut is immaculate, and I'm thinking the only thing that's immaculate about this cut is the haircut. The only thing I'm liking is the cut of the hair. It looks great. I'm not gonna lie, he looks so much better with the haircut. Bro looks like he's looks maxing. He looks great, but I don't think bulking, cutting year after year is making all that big of a difference. Once you hit that plateau, it's tough to gain anymore, even with all the juice in the world. He's more shredded now and lost some size, but obviously still looks good. Listen, I'm not saying he doesn't look good. He looks amazing. Bro is still 240 pounds, about 5'11". That's a freaking shit ton of muscle. But it's gonna be difficult to keep adding muscle year after year. And seeing he wants to compete, I think he should do it in classic physique. In open bodybuilding at 5'11", he's gonna have to put on a ton more muscle. But in men's classic physique, where there's a weight cap, he really doesn't have to get any bigger. He just has to get even more shredded, peeled, if you will, and show up and compete within the limits of his weight class. That will prevent the need for him to have to abuse even more performance-enhancing drugs to put on all that size. Every single year, if he doesn't up the doses, he's likely going to hit a standstill. He won't see any progress. And so you might be thinking,
Yeah, he's learned the errors of his ways. He's not going to use tren, he's going to use lower doses.
if he does that, the muscles are not going to keep getting bigger. Once your body gets used to 2,000 milligrams a week, you can't use 1,000 and suddenly grow like a weed. You're probably going to need to use 3,000. And the next year, 4,000 and so on. And so that is the problem. Many people are aspiring to be professional bodybuilders. They're ending up in the hospital. You can't continue to abuse steroids and so on and expect to not eventually have health problems. The haircut made him look smaller. Somehow he's managed to get smaller and less lean. Interesting. Old mate really must be relying hard on the gear for his gains. I'll take the bottom physique. And so the people are very clear. He looks better in the before. Aside from the haircut, the physique is better in the before. No difference. Only change I see is his nipples got smaller. He's gonna have to up his dose. He's getting smaller. No difference. What the F? I think he's peaked. Either get on stage or maintain. Until he gets up on that stage, he can't call himself a bodybuilder. A fitness enthusiast? Someone who's training like a bodybuilder? A bodybuilder wannabe? Absolutely. But until he gets up on the stage, he is not a bodybuilder. Fight me in the comments. Wow, almost no difference. It's hard to put on more muscle now. He's reached his max. He needs to add insulin for next level, unfortunately. No difference really. He will never compete, so who cares? You grew nappy hair, and so no, he cut it off. He's actually the smaller guy, the one with the haircut in the after photo. He looks healthier now. He's doing things smarter. Now, that I'm not going to disagree with. Perhaps he's just simply lowered his doses. He had acne. I think he was taking Accutane. He is no longer working with Fuad Abiyad in Hostile, and so perhaps that's the difference. Perhaps he says, I don't want to do what other people wanted me to do, which is to get huge. Perhaps he's happy with his size. His goal, I do believe, it's to compete in classic physique, and so maybe he's lowered his doses and is now using PEDs more responsibly. He is taking way less gear and eating better. Either way, he is still massive. Now, one thing Sam Sulek absolutely has to try, especially given his recent predicament where he's not putting on any size, is to add in testosterone. Remember, he's trying to be healthy. He doesn't want to up his doses. He wants to live longer than last time. Why not add something legal that doesn't negatively affect your blood work, but that is going to improve your gains? Now, you might be thinking,
How could it possibly help him improve his gains?
I'm on HRT, I added in testosterone, and I'm much bigger, significantly bigger, and I can train harder. And if you're thinking,
Yeah, but maybe it doesn't work. I don't know if it will affect me.
there's a money-back guarantee, and on top of that, a $20 gift card. And so what do you have to lose? I've been crossing borders. This is literally from Uzbekistan. It's Uzbek Turk. Now remember, it ain't laced with meth, Fanta, Fenty, or other top-name luxury brand. It's fresh, pure from Uzbekistan. Now, I've been in hiding. It's been difficult, but I have not been spotted as of yet. They let me across the border. They wouldn't let me into the United States, but other borders, they're open to Coach Greg. If you want to get the real Uzbek Turkestron, click the link in the description, code Greg, 15% off. Get it before it's gone. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm, like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of those 2 bloops, and of course, cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team. The Hard and Last Time clothing line. Also, if you have no money, get the free diet and training program. Over 100,000 have been given away, and join the 400,000 plus newsletter subscribers. And until next time, I am out.